Imagine, if you will, and land rich with promise, where the air beneath your feet holds the key to unimaginable wealth. A place where the soil, once barren and unforgiving, now harbors a fortune that could change lives or end them. This is a land where the truth was buried deeper than the oil wells beneath the earth, and where justice was as elusive as the wind across the plains. The names of the victims are lost to history, but the tragedy remains etched in the memory of this country. Tonight, we peer into the heart of darkness that came upon the Osage people, a case that would ultimately require the hand of federal law to untangle. The place is Osage County, Oklahoma, a wide expanse of rolling hills and grasslands, where the land stretches endlessly beneath a sky as vast as any dream or nightmare. The time, the early 1920s, a time of great prosperity, but also a time of reckoning. The roaring 20s are in full swing, a time when men with ambition and little conscience seek to capitalize on every opportunity, and the laws of morality seemed weaker than the lure of wealth. But in Osage County, the years are marked by no jazz and flappers, but by fear and betrayal. In this story, you'll find no monsters or ghosts, only men who believed that in the pursuit of wealth, they could erase the lives of others. It is a story of betrayal, of greed, and the lengths to which some will go to claim what they have no right to. And like all great tragedies, it is rooted in the indifference of society and the cruelty that emerges when the light chooses not to see.
Good morning, Agent James. Thank you for joining me at such a short notice.
Good morning, Mr. White. Considering the amount of heat on this case, I thought it would be the best to start as quickly as we could. All right, please tell me what we know so far so that I can be caught up to speed.
I'll warn you, this whole thing feels like a bag of snakes just waiting to open. We have an American Indian lady by the name of Molly Burkhart who is saying the members of her tribe, the Osage Indians, are being murdered. Says here that her sister Minnie Smith, who was 27 years old, died of what she says is poisoning.
Poisoning? Why would she think anyone would want to kill them, huh?
You don't know? The Osage tribe around here are richer than you can even imagine. They lucked out and all their land sits on a rich oil depot. Hell, they could buy this whole town and still have change to spare.
No kidding. Then what this Molly girl is saying might just be truth. The air in the small lit room was thick. The walls, cracked and yellow with time, seemed to close in on Investigator White as he stood, staring at the file in his hands. Inside it, his gaze flickered over a picture of Molly Burkhart, the woman whose family has been murdered in cold blood. White took a slow breath, adjusting his tie as he sat at the worn wooden table, setting the file down with a heavy thud. Molly was on her way, and time would be suspended while she walked through that door. Footsteps approached, deliberate and slow. White stood as the door cracked open, and there she was, Molly Burkhart, looking as poisoned, as composed as ever. Through her eyes betrayed a depth of sorrow and a quiet, haunted strength. She walked in without a word, her gaze flicking over White's shoulders, as if had she been here before. Her face was drawn, a few strands of dark hair escaping her tightly pinned bun. As White waits for her to take a seat, he closes the door behind him, and the silence between them thickens as he prepares to begin.
Hello, Miss Molly. I know this isn't easy. I'm not here to be your enemy. I'm here to get answers. I know your family has been a victim of the murders that have been going on inside the town, including the death of your sister Minnie.
My family's dead, Mr. White. My sister, my mother, my cousins. The doctors say that they died under suspicious circumstances, and for some reason it's only our people that are dying. You say you're here for answers, but every day feels like you're just covering for the murders and not doing anything to help our people. Do you even care to investigate?
I know it feels that way, and I'm sorry your family and the Osage tribe are going through this, but I'm here to help and find the people that did this to your family, Molly. I need your help.
You want my help? How can I help when the ones that are killing us are free? Ever since the newcomers came to town, it's been nothing but a mess. I've seen it all. You want our money, the power. You don't want to help us. You don't even care. You say you're here to help, but how can I trust you when you're just like them?
Molly, I'm not like them. I came here to this town to help and end the murders that have been happening. I want to put an end to this, but I need your help. You're the one who knows your family. Can you tell me who was around them or who were some of the people that were with them before their deaths? What was their relationship?
I don't know how it started, but at first I thought it was a new sickness that was spreading around town. But then I started to see the patterns. Only people from the tribe died like this, slowly poisoned. Usually the ones with money and farms have died. But they don't care about us. They want us all dead to keep the land, the oil of this town.
Do you think your husband, Ernest, has anything to do with these deaths?
I don't know. I don't think my husband is capable of doing something like this. He's always been close to everyone, but after he came from war, something inside him changed. I can't explain what it is, but he's not the same anymore.
I know you think your husband, Ernest, has nothing to do with this, but we know he was involved. Did you ever wonder why your family was so sick?
I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't want to admit my own husband was capable of doing such a thing.
I understand how you feel about this, but they're not just taking your money, they're taking your lives, your family's lives.
I don't know what to believe, but I do know they killed my family. They killed them for the money, and now they're coming for me as well.
It's not your fault, Molly. Don't blame yourself for something you didn't do. You've been living a lie all this time, but now we need to expose the truth.
All right, I'll do it. I'll help for my family and for my people.
Now that we have Molly's side of the case, we are able to move forward and interview the main suspects of these murders. First, starting off with William Hale, the Maine town sheriff. Also, his nephew is married to Molly, so he might have something to do with these killings.
All right, I will go talk to William Hill and see what kind of information I could get off of him. Welcome, Mr. Hill. Please take a seat.
Alrighty, may I ask why I'm here today?
Well, I can give you a full detail on what is going on, but there were rumors that murders have been going on around town. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, that. Well, since I am the sheriff around town, I have been seeing many people die, but most of them died to suicide or natural causes.
Well, since there were deaths, why didn't you ever report it?
But like I said, most of them were from natural causes.
Well, have you noticed that almost all the deaths were Osage people?
Well, I never noticed that. Those Osage people are real good friends of mine. Ever since we moved into the land next to them, we have been friends. They're always there for me, and I'm always there for them. Also, I would see them around town going to the bank to deposit or withdraw money, since they were the richest people in this country.
Well, is that why you hang out with them all the time?
No, I hang out with them because they are family to me.
Whether truly your family or whether your way to get more money.
You know, I'm not appreciating these kinds of questions you are asking me, like as if I'm some kind of murderer.
Have you gotten anything?
Something isn't adding up, but I can't figure it out.
Well, we'll solve this case. I believe in us.
Yeah, I'm going to meet up with this last person, Blackie Thompson. They had some information they wanted to talk to me about.
Hopefully the information is enough to solve this case.
We finally got the evidence we required to convict Mr. Hale. Blackie Thompson, an associate of the Burkhart brothers, and Mr. Hale, as you should know, admitted everything. He said the Burkharts were responsible for the murders of Molly Burkhart's family members, all the way back to Anna Brown.
Perfect. Now we can use Thompson to break down Ernest and get his testimony so that our case against this family is rock solid.
You thought that staying silent was going to help your case? Now you're done for. Your partner Blackie just spilled everything he knew to us.
First off, I didn't do anything, and second, you're just bluffing. Just like the last time you said you had dirt on me, but nothing happened.
Okay, does this sound familiar to you? Your brother took Anna Brown, who was drunk by the way thanks to y'all, Then you'll shut her up with the help of your buddy Kelsey.
You're just making things up.
After Anna, the Headrights went to her sister. Yet, of course, the Smiths ended up being killed by an explosion caused by gallons of nitroglycerin, which just happened to be lying next to their house, which, as you know, was caused by your friend Lawson under the orders of your uncle. And of course, after the death of your cousin-in-law, Charles, the Wrights all went to Anna and Molly's mother, Lizzie Q. But wouldn't you know, the autopsy came back and Lizzie didn't die from old age. No, she was poisoned, just like all the other Osage Indians your family has murdered.
How dare you speak of my wife that way?
All these murders led to one outcome. Your wife, Molly, became the sole inheritor of all the oil-rich lands her poor dead family owned. Well, this all worked out for you. It would be a shame if your sick wife ended up dying so soon. Then you wouldn't have anyone to share all that wealth you got from her family with. Yes, turns out that the medicine you've been giving her has been poisoned this entire time. No wonder why she wasn't getting any better. Good thing we got some doctors to check it out after she came to us. And you were close to getting rid of the last person standing in between you and all her family's wealth.
I had nothing to do with that. I didn't know.
That's not what your buddy Blackie told us. He told us these doctors were under your payroll and how they were the ones who provided you with the poison for all the murders, as long as they were confiscated. We even confirmed it through the purchase logs and bank statements, which showed unusual deposits. Look, we want the mastermind behind everything. We want your uncle. We see how silver-tongued he is. You probably didn't want to initially do this. You probably loved your wife at the same time. How about we strike a deal?
I'm listening.
Now, you're still going to do some time. There's no two ways about this. However, you give us your testimony against your uncle and we will reduce your sentence. Maybe you can get let out of parole in the future for good behavior.
And if I don't?
Well then, I guess you'll go to prison for the rest of your life for the murders of the Brown family and the conspiracy to murder your wife to receive head rights that belong to her. Up to you.
Okay, I accept the deal. I'm not trying to die in prison.
After Investigator White and his team uncover the full extent of the Osage murders, William Hill, a prominent local businessman, is revealed to be the mastermind behind the conspiracy, orchestrating the deaths of Molly Burhart's family and other Osage members to steal their land and oil wealth. Hill's associates, including his nephew Ernest Burhart, are implicated and eventually confess their roles in the murders, leading to a series of arrests and trials. For the Osage people, the justice served in the courtroom does not erase the profound loss of their loved ones, nor the cultural and economic devastation caused by the systematic targeting of their people. The conspirators are punished, but the deep scars left by the years of corruption and exploitation remain. Though the investigation and trials bring a sense of closure to some, the emotional and social wounds persist. Ultimately, the story of the Osage murders is not just one of crime and investigation, but of survival, resilience, and the ongoing fight for justice for Indigenous people. It also exposes the widespread corruption and racism that allowed such crimes to flourish unchecked. And while the convictions are a step forward, the Osage are left to rebuild their lives in the wake of such devastation. Investigator White, who played a pivotal role in uncovering the truth, remains a distant figure, his job completed, but the impact of the case lingers in the history of the Osage Nation.